I want to welcome you back to Black Site, and tonight we're going to talk about it's buck breaking season in America. First, I'd like for you to subscribe to this channel, hit that notification button. If you'd like to make a donation, go to PayPal. We just saw Nick Cannon be buck broken by the Jewish community. Nick Cannon, also Deshaun Jackson, and many others have stepped forward and said that the Jewish community is not the real Jews. They believe that we are the real Jews, the real chosen people, and they have made other statements that the Jewish community did not like. When they did not like what Nick Cannon was saying, they decided to show what real power was. Nick Cannon first stood on his square, but 24 hours later, he was on bended knee apologizing to the Jewish community. And you saw NFL player Deshaun Jackson apologize for making his statement saying that he supported Minister Louis Farrakhan. Now they have him going all the way to Auschwitz and even going to the Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. But I would like to ask you this. How many times have we held the Jewish community feet to the fire when they have done racist things all the way back to blackface with Al Joseph? Have we ever made a Jewish person go to the Black Museum in Washington, D.C. because they would never do it? See, you have to understand this. See, Jewish people want all the oppression, but they want all the power too. See, they want to be what I call the untouched masses. They're only 2.5% of the population, but control the majority of mass media, the entertainment industry, and probably most of the sports media in America. But we have to understand as black men that we have to make a stand. Sometimes it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. It's that you make that stand. See, the Jewish community does not respect any man that doesn't stand up for himself. So you had many people out here when Nick Cannon made this statement come out and denounce Nick Cannon, especially in the black community. You saw on The View, Sonny Hostin, Whoopi Goldberg, Jamel Hill, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and many others go after Nick Cannon. But you saw some people come out on the side of Nick Cannon. You saw Dwayne Wade, P. Diddy, and many others in the black community who wanted to show support for this brother and back this brother. But they all eventually backed down on bended knee with fear in their eyes. And when I say fear in their eyes, they pretended like they didn't know what they were doing when they supported Nick Cannon. You have to understand this. The Jewish community will always protect themselves and their own. They believe that they are the untouchable people in America. And I said in my videos earlier, there's two groups that are untouchable in America. The Jewish community and the alphabet community. But if you truly believe in your heart that history is on your side when it comes to the Jewish people supporting the slave trade and the Jewish people in America right now who were racist just like any other white supremacist in America, but we can't say that because they are oppressed people too. But how can you be oppressed and you own most of the industries in America? That's not oppression. That's power. And they use power against the black community in so many ways. They treat us like we're children. And when you speak to your child and you discipline your child, you tell them, go to your room. Go sit in the corner. Keep your mouth shut. You don't have permission to talk about me as a parent. You saw Charlemagne the God saying that Nick Cannon should apologize to the Jewish community. Only a few hours later, Mr. Rosenblatt over at the ADL told Charlemagne the God, you need to apologize for Jewish tropes. See, it never stops because it's buck breaking season in America. This is how the game is run. And just like in slavery, they took the biggest slave and they violated him in front of the rest of the slaves. See, even though Nick Cannon is supposed to be worth 70 million, Ice Cube 100, P. Diddy 2, 3, 400, I don't know, they still buck break today in 2020 to let everybody know below them that you can get this work too. And you see how it has worked. The fear of having everything taken away from you is a powerful thing. But they can never take anything away from you if you stick together as a people. But we have so many people on the payroll who are unwilling to fight the war for respect as black men. See, they give you parameters in which you can talk about certain issues. See, you could talk about racism. You could talk about white supremacy. You could talk about President Trump. You could talk about voting. But when you get down to the nuts and cracks of the true issues in America, who has the power and who inflicts pain on the black community, you can't speak about the Jewish community. It's the same Jewish community that puts out filth in our community every day, in which rappers sing about killing each other, calling our women bees and hoes. But if you say anything about their women or about their community, you are shut down or you will be whiteballed immediately. This is how the game is run on us in America. They're untouchable. You can't even discuss historical facts with this community or they'll shut you down. We have historians just like they have historians. If they want to debate, come to the table. But they won't come to the table because they know it's the truth. So they deflect by calling us anti-Semites. You see all the men in this picture are considered now anti-Semites. Ice Cube. We know about Farrakhan, Nick Cannon, P. Diddy. We've seen Dwayne Wade. We've seen others have been called anti-Semites. And yes, they will lose income. But what does that mean when nobody has respect for you? You must stand strong against this enemy. See, they come to you telling you that they're your friend because maybe they marched with you during the civil rights movement. But I have always said the Jewish community uses the black community as a buffer because if we wasn't here, they'd be catching hell. But when we finally stand up, they smack us down. Black man and black woman, we cannot move forward. 2020 is not the revolution until we can bring everybody to account for what they have done to the black community. That's including the Jewish community. They have committed crimes against us, and they need to be punished, and they need to pay us reparations. But if we keep backing down like this, we will never have the freedom that we truly desire in America. This is a war, and we're losing a war when we back down within 24 hours. I want to thank you for listening to Black Site. I hope you subscribe to this channel. Smash that like button and share this video.